Welcome to our video series on the path to Nibbana. This is part 7, we'll be discussing how the mind works. A quick recap. Our mission is to attain Nibbana. And what that means is training our mind to see things as they truly are. We talked about the 4 stages, and then we learned step 1 is learning to be the best person you can be. Then step 2 was we try to train our mind to be the best tool it can be. In step 3, we learned that we had 2 main parts. And then first we focused on the body and learned that the body is made out of 4 elements. And in fact, the whole world, whether it's someone else, a tree, an inanimate object, and the whole earth and the universe is made out of the same 4 elements. Next, we learned how the mind and the body interacts with each other. And then we focused on how the mind works. And just to recap, you can only have one thought at a time. And then it stays for a short time. It's a fraction of a second. And then it disappears and a new thought comes. So these are the concepts that we have learned so far. And now we have to learn how do we observe this, both by meditation and basically observe the mind and the body to confirm the concepts we learned. So we did some of that in the previous videos, so we'll keep building on it. So a quick recap. When you start meditating, you sit comfortably, be in a safe place, complete all your urgent tasks so that you can relax. And then you start by paying homage to Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. And then you recite the 5 precepts. As I said, I personally take a deep breath, let it out, and give your mind permission to set aside all your worries and stresses. And then you do a little bit of compassion meditation, followed by breath meditation, so that your mind becomes calm. Then we begin to contemplate. The first contemplation we learned was to look at different parts of our body and confirm that they are made out of the 4 elements. And then we went on to contemplate about other bodies, trees, inanimate objects, and the earth, and confirm that they too are made out of the same 4 elements. Now let's keep building. So today we will add another module, and in this one we are going to observe how data from the outside world will come into via the sensory organs into our mind, and how the mind interprets that data. So for this one, you start by doing the breath meditation. So basically, you find out where you feel the breath most, and then you anchor your mind in that area, and then you watch your breath go in and out. So this is your baseline, and then you add this part. So as you wait, you just gently keep doing the breath and observing the breath until you hear some data from the outside. Basically, you can do this with your ears. And then you start paying attention to that. And what you will notice is that a sound came in, and it was your ear who accepted and received the sound. However, it was not the ear that interpreted what it was, that in fact, it was the mind. And then once you stop hearing the sound, you go back to your baseline of breath meditation. And then you just quietly wait until you hear another sound from the outside. Sometimes you also feel unusual sensations on your skin, like a tingling or a pain or a itch. Again, you make the same observation. You got some data, it was received by a sense organ, and then, however, the interpretation of what it was done by the mind. And whenever that sensation disappears, you go back to your baseline of breath meditation. So this will conclude how the mind and the body interact with each other, and how data from the outside world is brought in by the sense organs, but actually it is the mind that interprets the data and creates new thought. So that is the next module. Now let's look at another part of another concept and then do the observation on that one. And that would be about how you get one thought at a time and how it stays for a short time and disappears, and then it is replaced by another thought. So again, we have to observe the mind. Back to our anchor of the breath meditation. And however, now you give your mind freedom to think whatever it wants to. And you just watch it. Just like a 2-year-old child chattering away, you will start noticing that the mind goes here, thinks of something, and then thinks of another thing, so on and so forth. So you just watch this mind just thinking. And that way you can conclude that in fact, we can only have one thought at a time, and that they keep changing. Now, there is something unusual that happens. In a way, it's a good thing. As you keep meditating, there are periods of silence where your mind is very still, and you keep waiting and waiting for your mind to move, and it doesn't move. So then you cannot do this part of the meditation. So what I found is sometimes, say in the early mornings, when you have your cup of tea, that would be the time to just observe the mind and remind yourself how the mind flips from one thought to another and then another, and have its own internal dialogue. So you can confirm it in one of two ways. One, while you are meditating, but if your mind is so still and you cannot really see it, maybe when you have a quiet moment and you just give your mind time to think. Either way, what we are trying to do is conclude that this fact that we learned as a theory is in fact accurate. So we learned multiple concepts, and now we've learned multiple methods of observing. And now all you have to do is to keep repeating this over and over again. That's all for this video. So again, please stay humble, keep learning. That's the only way you will get better. Help and nurture each other. Would love to welcome you to join our mailing list. and subscribe to our channel. And more important, please share this with like-minded friends. As we have mentioned before, most of the books that help me are available at this website and they are free. So, next time we will be discussing anicca and dukkha. Thank you so much for listening. We hope to see you soon.